The alleged ringleader of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme facing fiery cross-examination today. Within the last 90 minutes, Amy Bach wrapped up her testimony after spending a second full day on the stand. Lou Raguse was in the courtroom and joins us live. Lou?
Julie, Amy Bach had an answer and an explanation for everything. The question is, though, whether the jury will believe those explanations or whether they will believe prosecutors' assertions that Bach participated in the millions of dollars of fraud that she now admits happened under her watch at Feeding Our Future. Under aggressive and fast-paced cross-examination by Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson, Amy Bach acknowledged there was fraud occurring in the federal child nutrition program during the pandemic. To the tune of millions of dollars, Thompson asked. It appears that way, yes, Bach responded. Despite admitting the fraud was occurring, Bach, the former executive director of the nonprofit Feeding Our Future, which sponsored the meal sites, claimed she took no part in the fraud. When Thompson asked if it was suspicious that meal sites claimed to be serving thousands of kids the same number day after day, Bach answered, not necessarily. Concerning the 6,000 kids Bach's co-defendant Salim Saeed claimed to be serving at his restaurant Safari, Thompson asked, that's a pretty extraordinary number, would you agree? Now, yes. At the time, no, Bach answered. Bach claimed many sites were doing home deliveries, plus trucks were bringing meals from the sites to other locations. She said she trusted her staff, who said they inspected the sites and verified the numbers. Thompson pointed out that for every claim that a meal site made, Bach signed a certification that the number of meals claimed is accurate. And prosecutors allege she was motivated to approve inflated numbers because from the $240 million in reimbursement money the Department of Education released, Feeding Our Future got to keep 10% as administrative fees. Now, there was one exchange this afternoon that perfectly summed up the way this entire day of cross-examination went. Thompson was asking Bach about the sale of a daycare for $310,000 that prosecutors believe was actually a kickback. Even though Bach admitted that there was no daycare license, there were no children, there were no parents or clients, and she didn't even own the building, she would not admit that it was in fact a non-existent daycare. Julie?
So Lou, how would you describe her and her answering of the questions? Was it, she seemed confident. It's hard to believe with those numbers that she can maintain that she did nothing wrong.
She sounded very well prepared, Julie. I think she's been preparing for this for a number of years, in fact. But again, like some of these things, like claiming that there were trucks delivering meals to people and that's why the numbers would make sense. Well, the jury didn't see any evidence of that happening during the trial. In fact, there was surveillance video that showed there were no people coming in and out and there were no trucks coming or going.
And then just one last question, Lou. It's kind of hard to follow because while some people made millions of dollars, she did not appear to be one of those people that made millions off of this.
Yeah, she does not have the same financial motive that many of these other people have, but what prosecutors say is that she craved more than just the money, she craved being the boss. So there's lots of text messages about her bragging of being in charge of what was a multi-million-dollar, essentially corporation, even though it was supposed to be a nonprofit.